What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Scales 13. I want to thank all of you for being so supportive in my absence. Let's not waste any time. This is going to be Scales 13's first ever Reptile Room Tour. Alright guys, so starting off with the first set of storage racks, this right here is my leopard gecko's enclosures. So this first one is Gex, and this one at the bottom right here is Tiny Tim's enclosure. Now these enclosures did very well on the move, where all I had to do was take the animals out, put them in a nice storage container, and then I actually moved the entire enclosure without worrying about anything being moved around and ruined. These enclosures aren't very big and don't have a whole bunch of pieces inside, so I didn't really have to do much when it came to moving. They are a little heavy for their smaller size, but they did really well. And if you look over at the side over here, ever since we moved in, Gex decided he would dig another path outside of his little rock outcrop hive right here, so that way he would have two entrances. And so far he seems to be doing really well in this new space. Now if you look at the little digital hygrometer I have right here, the humidity is actually a little high right now, but that's just because I had some moisture to the substrate for the cleanup crew and for our jasmine plant in the side right there. Now, this enclosure is a screen top and has plenty of lights and heat, so it is with no doubt in my mind that this excess humidity will escape from the enclosure within a few hours, but the moisture will still be retained in the lower parts of the reptile substrate for everything that was mentioned earlier. Now, let's see, I did the same thing down here. This guy's humidity should be a little bit high too. If I can find the gauge. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so all that's gonna dissipate. But this is Tiny Tim's enclosure, and he's doing really well as well since the move. I think he's in this little spot right here. Now, usually if I give this guy some food, usually he sticks his head out right away. So let me see. Now, I recently got this guy to eat much better off of tongs, and he's actually taken dubia roaches before, where in the past he didn't really take dubia roaches. So I'm wondering if I can coax him out just for you guys to see. With Gex's hide, it's a little bit harder to do that because, of course, Gex's hide has the hole in the back and he can't see that well when I clack the tongs. Let's see, is Tiny Tim even in there? Let's check, see if he's in there. No, he's actually not in this moist hide right here. Where could he be? Oh, there he is. He's in the back. It's under his warm hide right there. So if you guys look right there, I take these tongs and I clack them. There he is right there. Hey guys, how about we give Tiny Tim some food? What do you say? So in this process, I actually get to show you guys something else cool that I have. So right here is a little storage bin, which I've cut the middle out right here and added some mesh to turn this into an enclosure for my dubias. All right, cool, we got ourselves a dubia. Another thing I like about the Scales13's is these nice little snapping locks on the side, so I don't have to worry about leaving this container ajar where insects could escape on the sides. Make sure he's still there. He's still there. All right, let's gonna put you guys right here so you guys can see this feeding. Hey Tim, Tim, say hi to the camera. All right, buddy. All right, guys, are you ready? Ready to see Tiny Tim get fed a nice dubia roach? Tim, you want a dubia roach? You want this? You want it? Want it, boy? Good boy. Yeah, Tim's doing just fine on dubias now. Before, he wouldn't really take them because it was a new food and he didn't really recognize it. But once I got him to snap at one or two of them and he realized it was food, now he's taking these guys off of tongs with no problem at all. Now, of course, sometimes I'll let them run around in this enclosure to watch them chase them and hunt them and things like that. But just to make sure you guys are able to get the footage of him actually catching the insect, I decided to use tongs today. Good job, Tim. All right, in this enclosure here, we have our also famous pet snake, Phoenix. So there's a funny story of why I actually have a little lock on this tank. Maybe I'll tell that story later on in another video. But let me see if I can just pull her out for you guys. So if you guys see, her setup is still the same. I still use cypress mulch on this side, so that way the animal can have two different areas to actually hang out on, where one is drier, one holds more moisture, still has the moist side right over here for shedding, and still have the water bowl on this side. So this is the cool side, and of course this is the warm side. A heat pad that is hooked up to a thermostat, as always, to make sure it's safe for her. And if I open up this right here, my guess is she'll be buried under here trying to keep warm, and she's not. Look at these snakes, always making a liar out of me, man. Look at that. These pets. Okay, so she's not there. Maybe she's thermoregulating in the middle of the enclosure, and there she is. Awesome. I would have freaked if she wasn't there and couldn't find her, because then I'd be like, oh my god, where is the snake? But she's just fine. Let me just pull her out so that you guys can see her really well. Let me see. Awesome. So if you guys can see, I'll just let her wrap around my hands real quick. So as you guys can see, she's gotten quite large. She's almost as big as my old garter snake Ekans. And of course, I've always really liked the small colubrids. Maybe one day I'll get a boa, or maybe even a ball python, or one of those larger snakes. But right now I'm just really enjoying small colubrids. Sure, they're really slippery and they can get away really easily, but I just love how easy it is to handle these guys and how beautiful and striking their colors can be. But yeah, my little girl is doing just fine. All right, guys, let's move on to the next animal. Next reptile on the list, Panther. So Panther and Thunder's enclosures are far too large to store on any storage racks that I have at the moment. But right now I just have Panther on top of Thunder's enclosure, and it seems to be going quite well. No shaking, no issues in temperature. So these guys are doing just fine. So this guy did very well with moving to this nice reptile room. He's eating, nice and alert, as you can see. And right now he's begging for food. I gave him a little bit of a salad earlier just to try to appease him, but he's like, hey man, come on, it's the beginning of the week. Where's my high quality dog food? So later on, I'm just gonna take the rest of those veggies I gave him, and I'm just gonna mix that up with some high quality dog food, so that way he'll have his main meal for the week. But for right now, I'm just showing you guys off this beautiful animal. His skin looks good, his eyes look good, and yeah, he's doing great. I think someone got a little jealous when I was feeding Tiny Tim. What's up, Thunder? All right, so now let's to my main man, last but certainly not least, Thunder. So Thunder's doing well since the move. He actually started coming out just 2 days after moving him to this nice reptile room. This guy is really enjoying having a nice room dedicated to reptiles. And of course I do the same thing with Thunder. I'm having him run around the room with supervision as well, so that way he gets some more exercise. And the awesome thing about having the reptile room is, and of course I don't let the reptiles out at the same time, only one animal gets to run around at a time, because I can just close the door, and as long as the room's not too cold and as long as temperature permits, these guys can stretch their legs and have a ton of space, rather than worrying about getting hurt and running into a small crevice like in the apartment. So this is pretty cool. So let's see. All right. No, you want a Dubia, don't you, buddy? You want Dubia? Let's see what. No, oh, drop that one. Let me see. Want Dubia? Yeah, you might not even need tongs for this. Come here. Good boy. Now, guys, of course you want to be really careful with that when you're feeding your animals. Now, the thing is, as I said in a lot of my other videos, Thunder has never really given me a really bad bite before. But the thing is, as he's getting bigger, I'm respecting his space so much more, because I do not want to be on the receiving end of those teeth. Now, the thing is, he is an Ackie. It's not going to give me a really bad injury or anything like that. But I'm 100% sure it'll break skin if he does ever bite me, and it's not going to be fun. So yeah, be careful. I don't really hand feed him as much as I used to. I'm doing more tongue feeding now, or just throwing the insects into the enclosure. I still hand feed him from time to time, but not in the beginning of the feeding. I wait until maybe he's had 2-3 roaches already, and then maybe the last one I'll hand feed him when he's a little calmer. But when I first walk in a room with a bag full of roaches, or if I'm pulling out the storage container right here that has a bunch of my roaches in it, the first roach is always given to him either on tongs, or thrown into the enclosure. Let's throw him another one. Good boy. Good boy. Everyone enjoys seeing Thunder eat. And if you look at this guy, his colors are showing up really, really good right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the lighting since we moved here, because of course nothing has really changed in this care. But this guy's colors are really popping out really nice. And of course he's the sweetest monitor as usual. And of course he's hunting for more stuff, so I'm not trying to make any real quick movements. But the good thing is he's letting me touch him, he's tongue flicking, which is a good sign. It means he's being curious. Hey buddy, hey buddy. And I'm sure he's like, stop talking human and give me another roach. So how about I give you one more for the road and for the people buddy, and then we will conclude this reptile room tour. Good boy. Grab that one by the very end of the abdomen. All right, buddy, that's enough for today. Let's see. Actually, one more. Let's give you 4 roaches because you're pretty big now. Here's an awesome thing about having him back on the floor versus being up on a stand like he was before. So now that he's used to me and he knows my presence and everything, I don't really worry about towering over him as much because he recognizes me very easily. And wow, check this out. Looks like Panther wants a roach too. Hey Thunder, do you mind waiting while I feed Tim real quick? Cool, awesome, thank you, bud. Okay, cool, let's see. Where's my other tongue? So the blue tongue, here we go. Hey Thunder, do you mind if we feed Panther real quick? Do you mind? Of course, Panther loves his Dubies as well, so he knows what time it was when I started feeding everybody. So let's give this guy a roach so that way he's nice and happy. Good boy. Whoa, he bit it in half, all right. Oh, this guy doesn't waste a bit. I'm sure he'll eat that second piece of it too. Yep, as usual. Okay, now let's give one more to Thunder for everybody to watch right now. And look at this. Now this is the awesome thing I wanted to show you guys. Now, since he's used to me, he doesn't really run away as much, and he's kind of bigger, and he's like, yeah, whatever, that's Steve. He's my human pet or whatever. He will actually, and he's quite bold. As I've said before, as they get older, they get much bolder and much more confident. As long as you're adding that positive reinforcement to working with your animal. All right, buddy, you still gotta eat your dog food, so no more roaches for you. He will actually come out now to get a roach. So let's see. Maybe I'll just throw it on the floor and see what happens. Go get it, boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And Thunder's got it. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Thunder. Yeah, you're looking good, buddy. You're looking good. Nice and thin around the hips. Tail looks nice. Colors are looking nice. Very beautiful animal. Love that neck stripe. All right, bud. There's no more roaches. Ready to go back home? All right, buddy. You had your roaches for the day. Why don't you lay here and digest? Good boy. So he laid out. He's nice and stretched out, warming himself up under that light. Good boy. All right, buddy. Peace. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that reptile room tour. That was a lot of fun. So yet again, guys, I'm really happy to be back. I got a lot more material coming. One of the awesome things that's going to be coming soon is my guy Panther over here is actually finally going to get a nice big enclosure. So he's definitely well outgrown this 40 breeder. And even though the 40 breeder has been seen as like the standard in the hobby for a blue-tongued skink, at least for my individual right here, I can tell he's just way too big for that enclosure now. So very soon he's going to get a nice big PVC enclosure, and I hope you guys enjoy the upgrade. Peace.